All right. Wow. I completely forgot about Radium's team. Radium was the guy just straight up freaking Big Six. All right. Pardon me while I fix the layout for you guys. And transition. There we go. So we got Arash versus Radium. A really good top four set coming up. We have Torn Ogre versus the new Big Six versus the old Big Six.
Old guard versus the new guard.
Yet
Because of Zerndon teams.
yeah, this is like the new age Zerndon versus the classic OG Zerndon. Yeah, this will be fun. This will be fun to see what comes out on top.
I think from Arash's perspective in this match, I think he's kind of safe to just lead, King Torn. I think there's really much that can up King Torn coming out from Arash. So we'll see with how Radium tries to adjust to that, because that's almost certainly what Arash is going to go with. And there we go. We see the King Torn and Radium deciding Mence and Talonflame is going to be his answer.
Yeah, definitely a new lead versus an old lead. We got flying types all over the place. We got Tailwind all over the place. But Tornadus, obviously a very, very good setter. This isn't Gen 7, this isn't Gen 6 Talonflame, so we got priority for just one turn, most likely, while it has full HP. We're gonna see the fake out in Talonflame. Alright, never mind. So we're not gonna see any priority coming out from Talonflame. This bird is gonna get faked out here as wow, he's gonna double up into Talonflame, just immediately removing the threat, as Salamence is actually the one to go for Tailwind here, so that's a bit interesting.
That's fine, and he probably has Groudon and Xerneas in the back, right? So think about it. What really does he have in the back that can help deal with this Talonflame? It probably has Taunt, so it can stop his Geomancy, and Groudon can't really hit it for that much. So Arash deciding that targeting the Talonflame was ideal. He's got Prankster Tailwind, so he can always set up Tailwind the second time no matter what. He's going to get double knocked out in order to do so, as he has no Protect on this Kang, which gives him the chance to bring out his own Groudon, which max speed, the Earth Power, and he has Xerneas, which also now threatens this Mence. So his Groudon threatens Groudon, Xerneas that threatens Mence. Getting the double knockout there actually puts Arash in a pretty decent.
Yeah, he actually goes for a double Protect here to stall out a turn of Tailwind here, but I mean, did we ever confirm
Protect from the Groudon as well?
Yeah. Did we ever confirm the speed tier of Radium's Groudon earlier? I know it was fast, but I don't know if it's max speed.
I'm not sure either. I think it was, because remember it was against Serapis and he was Earth Powering it. So I'm pretty sure this is two max speed Groudons Earth Power who are going to be clicking Earth Power into each other, and it's prayer time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, honestly, Radium could potentially just go for Eruption here to get rid of the Xerneas and just count on his Salamence. And there's the speed tie.
There it is, with the Radium winning the speed tie.
Yeah, and with that, that's likely. Yeah, that is likely game, as a Xerneas with that much HP. Even though it's able to KO the Salamence, it's probably not going to be nearly enough to deal with this Groudon here, as Radium's just going to let his Salamence go down here, as he brings in his own Xerneas. And, Xerneas, it can't KO both of these Pokemon with a Dazzling Gleam. It can do a ton of damage to both of them, but in the end, it's not going to be able to get the job done. And with a double up of Moonblast and Earth Power, that is going to be the game. That was a very, very quick game.
Yeah, no, another hyper offensive. I mean, necessarily hyper offensive, but another very quick aggro game coming out there.
Yeah, that basically just came down to whoever got their speed control up first. Like, it wasn't even a Xerneas contest as we've been seeing all day. That was just, okay, whoever got Tailwind, Groudon, Eruption, Earth Power, Speed Type, bang, won. And it looks like Radium got the better end of all of that.
I wonder if Arash might try to make an adjustment there, especially, and maybe try to bring his Incineroar instead. Maybe just to try to help deal with the Groudon a little bit more, though. It's kind of hard to go against leading Kang Torn again, and obviously you want to clearly have both restricteds in this matchup, because if you drop your Xerneas, then you have a hard time dealing with Salamence. If you have Groudon, you have a hard time dealing with the other Groudon. So it's kind of hard to make a case for Arash, doing anything differently. I mean, I'm struggling to try to think up personally of ideas that you can try to get around this, Talonflame Salamence stuff with. Maybe if he leads Instant Talonflame. Actually, wait, no, not Instant Talonflame. I apologize. Instant Tornadus might work instead of no Kangaskhan. He can, maybe fake out Taunt and then once again as he U-turns and then maybe you can find a way around it that way. Then I think you could run into a rough problem if you see like a Smeargle Xerneas lead from Radium come out or something like that, because fake out into the Torn, try to go for Geomancy, you fake outs, and then follow me Geomancy, and then lose to this Geomancy Zern that's got a Geomancy before you do. So Arash maybe has an adjustment, but Radium definitely has a counter to that adjustment.
Yeah, I definitely think Arash's game plan is just make sure you match the speed control, because like Arash was able to get that up on turn, or Radium was able to get that up on turn 1, and that just immediately put Arash on at a disadvantage. Yeah, even though like Arash was able to get his Xerneas set up in the end game, it really didn't mean anything considering it had to take so much damage being at the speed disadvantage. And, you know, obviously the speed tie loss kind of sucks at the same time. But, you know, I definitely think there's a way that Arash can win this game, and I think it definitely comes down to getting the speed control in his favor, just so he can, you know, keep up with Radium's offensive pressure. Because I feel like we're going to see I think we're going to see another quick game here. This should be a very, very quick game. I
think Incineroar Torn is like a decent option if Radium goes for the same lead, right? Because then you can fake out Talonflame, taunt the Ment, you stop Tailwind there, then you can taunt the Talonflame again, stop Tailwind there. And so you see Radium go with the same lead, and Arash decides to go with Hang Torn again. So maybe this time he'll, you know, fake out the Talonflame, taunt the Ment, taunt the Talonflame, and try to do things that way. Though I think Incineroar could have been slightly better if you want to do that, just because you also get the U-turn on that exact same turn, and you get the Intimidate support, so your Turn Honest can then live some attacks if you taunt and they just barrel at you, ledges, Brave Birds, or Flare Blitzes. But see if he tries to go for, you know, the fake out taunt here, and we'll see if Radium is into that and just goes for the attack straight up.
I wonder if both of I'm pretty sure, I think it'd be reasonable to predict that both Talonflame and Salamence are carrying Tailwind. So, I mean, like, in preparation of one getting faked out. Oh, Quick Guard. I was just about to say, like, I wonder what Talonflame's tech move is going to be on the set. And I was wondering if it was going to be Quick Guard to stop fake out. And lo and behold, he goes for Quick Guard and stops the Kangaskhan's fake out at the cost of some damage from the Icy Wind going into Salamence. But Radium makes the play of immediately switching out into Groudon as Talonflame going for the Supersonic Sky Strike, not able to pick up the KO on Tornadus as the double edge, just barely misses out on the KO on Talonflame. But now Groudon's in. But
you probably wanted Talonflame to go down there,
so you get a free switch,
yeah, stop Tornadus from Icy Winding, because now you can potentially get an Icy Wind from this Torn onto Groudon, which makes Arash's Groudon, you know, the faster Groudon, makes it pretty much win that exchange. Yeah. So Radium here might want to protect his Groudon, let Talonflame go down. And also, he can actually ensure Talonflame goes down by using any move with recoil into Kangaskhan. Actually, a very way of getting that free switch into Mens to potentially deny this Tornadus' Icy Wind if he wants to, by just protecting and going for Flare Blitz or Brave Bird. Yeah, we see that Supersonic Sky Strike, get that little chip damage. Kang double edges Talonflame. Goodbye, Talonflame. And say hello to Salamence.
Yeah, Salamence comes back in, gets another Intimidate onto this Kangaskhan, mitigating its damage output. Tornadus now blowing its Z move into Groudon. I mean, that chip damage is still valuable because it lessens the impact of Eruption just being clicked here. But, you know, Tornadus can easily just go, well, actually, its Icy Wind is a lot less free now because of Salamence's ability just to KO it. But he's going to protect.
Arash makes a great play there going for the taunt, right? Because now, since Arash's Tailwind is still going to be up on this turn, he knows that he can just bring in his Groudon and guarantee Earth Power into this Groudon with this one turn of Tailwind he has left. Guarantee that he's getting his Earth Power off into this, which gives Xerneas the time to Geomancy, and then after that Earth Power damage, he can probably just Dazzling Gleam the way through the rest of Radium's team. I'm not sure if Earth Power plus 2 Dazzling Gleam is enough to kill Radium Xerneas. I think it might be, but we see no switches, so it's going to be a gone Groudon.
That's where
Tailwind going up for minutes.
Yep.
It's a good play from Radium just to try to, you know, get him some position back.
But he's definitely still behind.
Yeah, but I mean, it helps him at least with maybe he can read something here. Like maybe he can go for double edge Xerneas, win the speed tie with his Xerneas, and also Moonblast it. But I think Arash can just click Eruption on to kind of stop that, and also Dazzling Gleam. Though he goes for that Eruption Dazzling Gleam play, there might be a way for Radium to get back in, and he wins the speed tie. Goes for his own Geomancy, that's huge. But yeah, goes for that
special
straight
attack drop though.
Special attack drop. Eruption brings it down low, and that special attack drop is
well, Moonblast crit is always an option.
Yeah.
But Arash is going to see that that is a valid win condition, and oh wow, instead he just goes for the double up into Groudon, potentially predicting a Xerneas to protect here. But that's just a means of stalling out Tailwind. Ooh, we're going to see a special attack drop. Doesn't really matter at this point, but ooh, Xerneas is actually going to go down. But if Groudon just clicks, clicks Eruption, yep, that's going to end the game. Yeah, I mean, like, Radium was just in a position where he had to double up into something in order to KO it, but the problem is if he doubled up into something, that allowed the other Pokemon to get a big hit off, and with Xerneas being at +2 everything, and Groudon just having the full power Eruption still on deck, like, there really wasn't much Radium could do there, especially with this Pokemon being at such low health.
So many, I mean, actually, I don't think a speed tie decided that game. There's definitely speed tie involved.
Oh, yeah, I don't think so.
Geomancy off before Arash was able to hit it with his own Xerneas. So hopefully we get a speed tie free game 3 here again. So really, I still think the Incineroar adjustment is definitely viable, right? I don't know why I'm so hung up on that idea. Like, why is Kang better than Incineroar here in this matchup? Just because
I feel like it's speed tier potentially.
Yeah, it's viable because it's able to,
and also it's not weak to Groudon.
Yeah, not weak to Groudon, but it's able to hit Groudon. It's able to also get important damage on Xerneas and outspeed it. But I mean, Incineroar also get important damage on Xerneas as well. I guess the question really is how valuable is that Intimidate at the end versus the value that you get out of Kangaskhan speed tier. That's really the two things that you have to weigh. You compare it to, obviously the on. If you lead Incineroar right in turn 1 or faking out, then you're kind of, you're not really susceptible to Radium just hard switching and Groudon, because Radium's Groudon, does it not have, it has Roar, right? No P-Blades. So it has no way to actually.
I think we saw Roar earlier, yeah.
So I think it doesn't even have a way to OHKO the opposing Incineroar, which is interesting as well. So Roar can kind of guaranteed, not get, guaranteed not get OHKO. That's a weird phrase to say, but forces, any sort of chip or spread damage to come into it as well as into this game 3. And
we're going to see these leads yet again.
The exact same thing. So I wonder if we see that Icy Wind come out again. I wonder if guard play come out again. It's really kind of mind gamey here. As quick guard fake out hits the Talonflame. Nautis
has no Tailwind coming out.
Icy Winds and the Mence just straight up attacks, and I think that's game.
Yeah, that was no Tailwind from either side. That's very, very interesting.
Because now we can just spam the Icy Winds, and double edge into the Groudon, and it's
kind of ensures that Arash is going to have the speed advantage for the entirety of the game. Because especially now since Talonflame isn't going to have the priority Tailwind. Well, it could still set up Tailwind. You can just taunt
Talonflame here, right? And
Talonflame could always also go for Z Tailwind if he predicts the taunt.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's still play. Yeah, so Arash going for the safe play just goes for his own Tailwind. Double edges into the Talonflame so that when that Xerneas hits the field, he's able to taunt it. Tornadus with its live that Eruption because of Groudon's damaged health. So now we can just bring out his own Groudon. Just freely taunt the Xerneas, prevent any Geomancy because of that speed drop Earth Power into the opposing Groudon, and then let his Xerneas come out when it pleases Geomancy on this.
Yeah, I think Arash is in a pretty good position. Wow, he just goes for the Earth Power to get rid of the opposing Groudon, and I think with that is pretty much going to be game for Arash. Another really quick game here. I think just once we saw that Icy Wind turn 1, I think that was just GG right there.
Yeah, I think that's actually the second game we've seen on stream where Tornadus turn 1 got off an Icy Winds. Actually, no, the other game was the Tornadus, I think, made the mistake with going for the Icy Winds. But with this one, Tornadus going for the Icy Wind as Radium doesn't set up any form of Tailwind, just results in a clean sweep. This game right here is the perfect example of how speed really is in these types of restricted formats. Because once you get it, and don't let go of it, that pressure can just carry you to victory.
Yeah, we just saw that turn with games like this with both such hyper offensive teams that really come down to whether or not you can just set up speed control and get your team in a better position to clean up the game from there. Like, these games just went by super quickly, and just usually it comes down to like 1 or 2 turns that just are pivotal to either player winning the game or winning the match. So it was well played by both players. That's just the way these teams are. Really hyper offensive, really just back and forth games, all ending super quickly. I think, honestly, pretty much these players took more time deciding which Pokemon they're going to lead with, even though they led with the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing every single game. I feel like we spent more time in team preview than the actual matches or during actual turns. But
Definitely.
yeah. But that is the end of top 4, so we're going into finals now. I believe that they would I think they're taking a bit of a break, like maybe 10 or 15 minutes before they head into finals. I'm not sure if that's 100% confirmed yet, but I think they're doing that in the chat. So yeah, I think we're going to take about a 10 to 15 minute break while the players get situated and, give us all a break. Honestly, it's been a very long day of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely need a bit of a breather. So we'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes to give you the finals of the Zelda Worlds Challenge. So we'll see you guys in a bit.